Hey, what's up everyone? The developers just dropped the Democracy Space Station blueprint. We'll go over the Galactic War Map update, and the devs plan to reveal new armor on Liberty Day. Plus, there's much more to discuss. If you haven't already, click the like button below and subscribe with notifications on. We'll kick things off with Arrowhead's latest post where they've released the DSS blueprint, better known as the Democracy Space Station. Here's what they wrote. Attention Helldivers, please closely review these blueprints for the upcoming Democracy Space Station. Once complete, the Democracy Space Station will be a new strategic level weapon. It will wield powerful Helldiver-directed weaponry to aid in the liberation of its orbited planet. Through a cutting-edge voting system, the Helldivers will determine where to deploy the DSS and when to use its capabilities. Now, the blueprint is shown right below the post, and there are several interesting details on it that I think are worth mentioning. Starting from the left side, there's the location-agnostic transmission system, and apparently it says it must be able to sync with all super destroyers simultaneously. Then right next to that, there's the protective plating that requires lightweight material capable of surviving FTL, which I believe they're referring to faster than light travel. After this, on the left side of the Democracy Space Station, there's an FTL accelerator and stabilizer which specifies that it requires next generation FTL tech. Now shifting back to the right side, we can see that there's the weapon bay. It's a bit hard to read. I honestly don't know why they didn't include a higher resolution image because it's somewhat blurry, but all I can make out is that it says it requires something personnel, accepting applicants with perfect something scores only. Yeah, so it's tough to read exactly what it says. Yet that aside, lastly we have the targeting system for Liberty distribution. And there's a caution note that says, do not activate while the FTL engine is running. This makes sense, right? You wouldn't want to activate the targeting system while traveling at light speed. That might cause some issues with the DSS or potentially lead to mistakenly attacking a planet that's already been liberated. Anyways, there's more to the blueprint. If you look towards the bottom left, you'll find a list of known issues, which states, beams in Sector 77C lacking structural integrity, risk of collapse, see attachment A30, E710, drive combustion sparks unstable, risk of self-combustion at use over 33 miles per hour, insufficient space for lavatories, removed to make space, sentry repair units, projections showing bed, living spaces not within budget reach, donations from Super Citizen Ann's Hospital for Very Sick Children to compensate, reward children with one time-filled trip to DSS for heroic sacrifice democracy. Okay, there's a bit to unpack here. The most noticeable line on this paragraph is that they're taking some beds from the Super Citizen and Hospital, which is kind of crazy. Yet we're also rewarding the children with a field trip to the Democracy Space Station once it's built. I wonder if we'll actually see them on the DSS once it is built, because that would be pretty cool to see. Now besides that line, we're not going to be able to use the bathroom since there's apparently not enough room for lavatories. Instead, they're going to add a sentry repair unit. Yep. That's wild to know that there's not going to be a way for Helldivers to use the bathroom. I guess that's the least of our worries considering the E710 drive is risk to use at the moment, due to the fact it'll self-combust when traveling over 33 miles per hour. So I guess it's best that we forget about using the bathroom and make sure we can use the DSS safely without it blowing up. Lastly, over on the bottom right side of the blueprint, there's a confidential statement that says, for Ministry of Defense eyes only, any similarity to other battle stations, real or imagined, is coincidental. The Democracy Space Station is the property of Super Earth and her people, and unlawful possession of this document is equivalent to stealing from all of humanity. If found, return to the Ministry of Defense representatives and report to your loyalty officer for questioning. I think it's sort of hilarious that if you come across this blueprint, you've pretty much stolen from Super Earth and you'll be questioned about it. Interesting. So this right here is all that we know so far about the DSS, and there's a lot that needs to be added to the space station for it to be functional. Now speaking of the DSS, we've got some news about the Galactic War Map and the Major Order because there's a big problem right now with Turin. It says we have to defend it, but in reality, the best option is to head over to Akmor 4 instead. Essentially, we can kill two birds with one stone here. We can liberate Akmor 4 and also take over Turin without additional effort, right? Because it'll stop the Terminate's attack altogether. This is what I highly suggest doing right now because it's just like in yesterday's video when, you know, Mastia was under attack. I recommend going to Shelt because we would be able to take over two planets at once so the same strategy applies here. Now, how about we go over the latest news on Liberty Day? I'm not going to reveal the leaked armor, but I will discuss it. There's been some leaked information, including an image, suggesting we'll see the old school Helldivers 1 armor on Liberty Day, which is on October 26th, coming up this month. If you don't know what the old Helldivers 1 armor looked like, I'll pop it on the screen right about now. So from the leaks, it looks exactly like the armor you see here. So that's something to be excited about. Also, some believe that they're also going to be dropping the Constitution rifle on that day as well, which is also from Helldivers 1. But there's no concrete proof yet that'll actually happen. Now, there is the actual Constitution rifle that was discovered in the leaked files, but there's no word if it actually is going to pop up on Liberty Day. We are going to move along here and talk about the audio. As you all know, the Arrowhead team recently released a hotfix that adjusted the audio for different types of enemies to basically make them easier to hear. Well, I've got more news on that because the developers are working on further improving the audio. This was confirmed on the Helldivers 2 Discord by the community manager, Twinbeard, and he wrote, "Yo, there were a lot of audio tweaks in the patch yesterday, but I know some is still there to be worked on, so I'm guessing those are next. Even if it would be cool with ninja chargers, we can't have them running around the battlefield in all sorts of undemocratic ways now, can we?" Yeah, so expect the audio to be improved even more, making chargers more audible and ensuring that Biotines don't sneak around on their tippy toes with you barely able to hear them. You know, they'll actually make some noise now. Since we're on the topic of audio, there was a top comment from the last video I included mentioning how the Chainsaw Devastators should actually have a chainsaw sound. And I couldn't agree more because it's quite odd that they're essentially silent. Moving on to the next post, if you recall from a few minutes ago, I discussed the Major Order and the Galactic War Map, where we decided to take over Akhmor 4 so we can capture both Turin and Akhmor. Well, Twinbeard has given us a status update on their plans to discuss how the defenses work. He responded to a comment asking if they have plans to talk about the defenses. Right here in this post, he responded back and said, "Yeah, there are a lot of stuff affiliated with the Galactic War and map. It would be good for us to explain a little more in detail in either or a blog, vlog, AMAA, or similar. I think we're working on a blog at least along those lines, but I'm not sure exactly what it will entail. Stay tuned." Alright, sometime in the near future, we can expect a blog post that will probably discuss the defenses, among other things I'm sure. However, I'm not certain if this is the best way to convey the information. It would probably be better to showcase how the defenses work in game. Perhaps they could demonstrate this on the Democracy Space Station or something similar. There's got to be a more effective way to explain this to us or the player base basically, you know, than just a blog post, because I doubt the majority of you are reading those type of posts. So I think if there was a mini description or a tutorial on the DSS or the Destroyer, that would be a better approach, at least in my opinion. On a completely different note, let's check out 3 more General Brasch commercials and an Automaton one that I think some of you might not have seen yet. Now, that's not to say these are new, but I'd like to bring them up in case you haven't seen them. And you can catch my thoughts at the end of the clips.
And now, another helpful tip from General Brasch.
You will get shot at. But remember your ABCs and you will never die. Always be taking cover. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that bullets do not go through cover. Assuming that cover is thick and largely impenetrable. Brasch tactics. Use them or die trying.
And now, another helpful tip from General Brasch.
Hear that? That's the sound of heavy armor, stopping the spread of democracy in its tracks. See? Enemies that are more heavily armored require you to be more heavily armed. That's the stuff. With the right stratagem, there's no defense democracy cannot penetrate. Brasch tactics. Use them or die trying.
helpful tip from General Brasch.
Ah, the simple joy of unloading round after round into the bodies of your enemies. Oh yeah, that's good. But if you get carried away, your shooting days are over. Elite soldiers adjust their fire mode so they can keep the killing going all day long. Oh yeah, that's good. Brash tactics. Use them or die trying.
The automatons, heartless killing machines. It is an undeniable fact that they do not have hearts.
And heart is what Super Earth is all about. Prove your humanity. Show you care. Enlist in the Super Earth Armed Forces and destroy the automaton threat.
Okay, now that you've seen these commercials, what I would like to see is more General Brasch commercials, some newer ones, or some sort of way to view these on the Democracy Space Station or the Destroyer. I would just like to have a way of checking out all of these without waiting for it. I think that's something I'd love to see. But nonetheless, General Brasch knows what's up. We're now coming towards the end of this video, but I would like to know your thoughts about the Helldivers 1 armor, the Democracy Space Station, the blueprints, even what the community manager has talked about, Twinbeard. Just let me know your thoughts on everything overall, because you might just be featured in the next video. With all that being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, comment down below, because we're about to check out the top 3 comments from the last video. So yeah, if you comment down below, you might just be featured in the next one. The first comment is by Waffle3632. I think hating on the devs is kinda old. No kidding, I agree. The second comment is by Nick9458. Thank God they're adding the stratagem launcher to the mechs. It is so annoying to have to get out of my mech to call in reinforcements if my teammate dies. And last but not least, we have Iron Silver. My issue with ragdolling is that it knocks you out of cover for the rest of the bots to mow you down. Cover doesn't mean jack if the bots constantly yeet me out of it. Yeah, both of those comments, absolutely I agree to both of those as well. But hopefully they resolve the shooting through walls, because that does suck with the automatons. But for the stratagem launcher, if you guys did not know, that is supposedly coming at some point. So keep an eye out for that. Anyways, those are the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to, remember, just comment down below so you can be featured. Comment and also subscribe. Give this video a like if you have not done so. And thank you guys so much for watching the videos. It truly means a lot to me. It really does. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.